Welcome back to Coffee Break Blogging. And actually, yes, I am actually having a cup of coffee. I do that a lot. It was actually something to do with the name of this podcast. But anyways, welcome back to Coffee Break Blogging. And we're going to continue on our series to creating and growing a profitable blog-based information business online. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about something called the transformation map. Now, this is what I call it, we are going to create this because it's really going to help you not only map out your content moving forward, but it's also going to help you brainstorm product ideas. It's also really going to help you really understand the person who you're addressing with your content and ultimately what you want to sell them into things. So here's what this transformation map is. Let's first look at what the transformation is. I use the word transformation in order to refer to the process of getting a person from point A to point B. And that point B is their ideal scene. It's where they want to be in whatever your market is. So in my particular case, because I'm talking primarily to blog owners and people who want to run an online business, the transformation is usually going to begin in the area of they've got maybe a loose idea, or maybe they don't even have a niche idea yet. They just want to make some extra money. So that would be at the far extreme of where people would begin. And then on the other end of it, that transformation is that they've got a profitable online business based around their blog, and they're actually making money, possibly even enough to quit their job. Now, what I am in the business of doing is delivering that transformation. And everything that I do at the Blog Marketing Academy is based around delivering that transformation and enabling people to travel that journey from point A to point B. So that's the transformation. And your market has the exact same thing, whatever it might be. Yours might look different. If you're in the weight loss market, then obviously the transformation is going to be on one end, you're overweight, on the other end, you're not, and you look hot. But it could, even in a hobbyist space, if you just got a hobby, well, what is the transformation in a hobby? Well, on one end, maybe you're not very good at it and you don't know what you're doing. And on the other end, you're impressing your friends because of how awesome this thing is that you're doing as a hobby. Whatever it is, you want to dive into the emotional side of what that transformation is going to mean for them so that you can really dive into that. And the more that you understand that, the more that you can make that transformation very real for them. So the transformation map is basically an overview, a map of how to get from point A to point B, how to travel this road to get this transformation that they want in this particular space. So it's typically a series of steps, but it could also be a typical series of barriers or challenges that one may actually experience while they're traveling this journey. So I'll give you an example, and I'm just going to base this off my own market of talking to bloggers. And again, primarily because A, I'm really familiar with it, and B, you guys probably are too, because you guys are probably in my target market. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be listening to me right now. So it starts off at the far end of this transformation map would be the blogger who has little to no traffic and no income. That would be where it usually begins at the start. So we go through typical steps of this transformation and typical things that they're experiencing along the way. It starts off with maybe they've got no clear niche. They have no idea where they want to head, what market they want to serve. Well, you may have also, if you're following along with our series here with Coffee Break Blogging, you'll realize that I'm actually talking about that right now. In fact, this entire podcast, as we move forward into the new year, is all going to be about traveling this transformation and in a logical sequence. So remain subscribed to Coffee Break Blogging. You'll be able to follow along. But as we move along from no clear niche, a lot of times people are experiencing overwhelm and information overload. So that's a very typical thing that comes up. It actually happens in all stages of this transformation, but it's very common at the beginning when people are trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. We go into being disorganized, into having no real clear business model, into not really knowing what your unique selling proposition is going to be. Now we move forward a little bit further on our transformation, and you're going to be dealing with technical website issues, how to set up your blog, how to customize the theme, a lot of the typical technical hurdles that go along with this business. Now, once you worked out some of that, you're typically going to be thinking, I don't have really that much traffic. So you got to start figuring out how to get more traffic. So that's another hurdle that one will need to deal with on this transformation. Then you're going to be going into, I don't have an email list yet. So we'd have to tackle how to handle that email list. Now, the next thing would be getting better at content, really upping your game in terms of your content. Then another part of the transformation would be having no offer. Well, you could have a blog and have great content, maybe even having some people coming, but if you're not offering anything to them, it's really going to be hard to make money. So we've got to build the offer. We've got to build the product. We need to increase our social engagement as we're moving forward in this transformation. Now, again, later on in the transformation, after you've got a lot of those things in place, then you're going to start talking about things that are challenges when you're a little bit further down the road, like conversion testing, conversion optimization, split testing, expanding your team, hiring a virtual assistant, systematizing your business, and dealing with entrepreneurial overwhelm simply because you don't have a lot of systems in place yet. Now, these are things that when you're at the very beginning, you're probably not experiencing them yet because you haven't gotten to that point, but they happen a little bit later in our journey. That's the transformation map. If you just back up for the last 2 or 3 minutes of me talking, we are going in a logical progression of the typical things that happen along this transformation. And then the end result at the end of this transformation would be a person with a functioning online business generating enough revenue to power the lifestyle that they want, driven by content marketing. That's what I'm in the business of doing here at the Blog Marketing Academy, and that is my transformation map. So what would you use this transformation map for once you've created it for yourself? Well, you could definitely use it to create your long-term content planning. So when you're actually planning out your content for months or maybe even a year in advance, you can do that when you have that basic framework in place. Otherwise, it's going to be like just throwing darts up against the wall and just seeing if you can hit anything. But when you have a real framework, a real plan of action to go by, then it makes it a lot easier for you to start coming up with content ideas and really plan that into the future. Another thing that really helps is to use this transformation map to come up with product offers. It helps you realize where people are in that transformation, and you can create custom tailored product offers that are going to help move them along, because the purpose of all of your blog content, all of your podcasts, and anything that you offer is ultimately going to be to move them a little further along in this transformation that you're in the business of delivering. So that's the transformation map. I definitely encourage you to work on creating that for your own business. Now, if you want some more assistance with this, this would be a really good reason to jump into the VIP program over at the Blog Marketing Academy, because inside one of the courses there that's called the Content Marketing Clinic, there is a full walkthrough of the transformation map, and some guidance on how to actually set it up. There's actually a little thing you'll fill in the blanks basically, and you will actually put together your own transformation map. So if you want that assistance beyond what we're talking about here on the podcast, jump on into the VIP program. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of that subscription anyway, but definitely inside the content that might be called Content That Converts at some point, but the Content Marketing Clinic, you will find some information on how to create this transformation map for yourself. Okay, with that, I will leave you until episode 43, which will be the last episode of this particular year. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we can make your 2015 the most productive year you've ever had. Okay, have fun, stay productive. I will see you on episode 43 coming up in a few days. Talk to you soon.